noticed that. So Curtis, whenever you're ready, Curtis is ready. So with that, we'll call our meeting to order. Yes, thank you. Has roll been taken? Let's skip the agenda. Any changes to the agenda proposed? If not, we entertain a motion to accept the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Support.
Got motion support. Last chance for comments, questions, or changes. Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion's carried. Thank you. This roll has been taken.
Yes.
Next up is Pledge of Allegiance. If everyone would please rise and join us in the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Now, we'd entertain a motion for the approval of the minutes of the April 28, 2026 meeting session.
Move to approve the minutes.
Support.
The motion support. Are there any comments, questions, changes? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, no. Motion is carried and the minutes are approved. Moving on to hearings. We are to conduct a public hearing at 6 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the agenda allows for the purpose of reviewing the proposed fiscal year 2027 annual city budget and related property tax millage rates.
Move to open the public hearing. Support.
Motion support.
Okay, here we go.
Well, I think we can vote on it.
Oh, sorry. Sorry,
So
eager.
So, all those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, no. We have a hearing. Now,
All right. Well, thank you.
you're leading us here.
Yes, and then we'll give you some minutia. When need Curtis, we'll have him pop up here. But we'll start off with the millage rates for the upcoming fiscal year. The general operating mill will be 14.1078. The transportation dial ride system millage rate will be 0.800 mils. Our street rehab and maintenance millage will be at 3.4713. We voted, that's a voted millage, and that it was voted at 3.5, but with Headley, that's the rollback. We also have in the Downtown Development Authority District only a levy of 1.9307. Again, that one is 2 mils, but roll back to the 1.9. And then a operating millage that is assessed across the whole city for operations at the Alma Public Library of 0.9793. So for revenue this year, as we discussed at our meeting in April for the proposed budget, we're still looking for the same revenues at $7,080,000. Our biggest funds coming in are our local taxes at $3,400,000. Licenses and permit fees are at $319,000. Intergovernmental revenue at $2.1. Internal service charges, those are just the charges that we charge our own funds back and forth. So that's not necessarily revenue coming from the outside of $670,000. Fines and forfeitures of $17,000. Rents at $30,000. Investment earnings $190,000. And then other revenue at $235,000. For the general fund appropriations and the operation funds, the community development function, economic development, $195,000, downtown maintenance at $113,000. And I wanted to pause at this one a little bit. Right now, we're proposing a balanced budget. But as we discussed, and I did put in your newsletter to discuss a couple items, this being one of them, downtown maintenance for the downtown parking lots. Right now, we just have the $113,000 in there for just the general upkeep of the district. If we wanted to get the projects done with the last 2 parking lots, we're estimating that'd be $680,000. That would have to come out of our general fund. So to fund that right now, it's a balanced budget. We've also discussed as part of that there needs to be a maintenance, some sort of a maintenance fee or assessment to help keep these investments that we made in the parking lots previously and in the future going forward. So one of the possible ways that the commission could look at this, if they if you're willing to go forward in funding those last 2 parking lots for the crush and reshape, that you can make a contingent upon a maintenance a fund or
Slash-sinking fund?
Slash-sinking fund, make that contingent. If we don't go down that route, speaking with Dave and Jim, we would have to go in and at least do some patch work in those parking lots at the very least. So, you know, for my sake and Curtis, as we budget this out, you know, we still haven't adopted the budget yet, but it's kind of, you know, would like to get a little bit of input from you right now with what you're kind of leaning towards, so we can kind of, you know, say, hey, we need to look at taking this out of general, you know, out of our fund balance to do this, or that, so when we start having those conversations with downtown business owners and property owners, that this is on the table from the commission, or if it's not, then we just won't, and then we gotta look at another option of you know, some patchwork, that we gotta do something in there, so.
But this is what you would recommend.
Well, my recommendation is if we go from everything that we've talked about with this group, the DDA, and then what we've said, what we've spent to investment already.
Correct.
That there has to be something there to start to build something to.
No, I think that's a great idea. I just was making sure that you guys were.
But that was just one way to.
Okay with that. I mean, to clarify for my own self, the alternative is to just either not do it and have spent this money and not keep it up, which is a waste, I think, or we're scooping it out of the general fund regularly.
Which is not sustainable.
Correct.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, I just want to make sure, because I get.
Yeah, because even if, say, if this group wasn't willing to look at that possibility and go out to those folks and say, hey, commission's willing to spend out of general fund to get these last 2 parking lots done, contingent upon that we come up with an assessment to do maintenance. Here's what we're gonna do, here's what it would cost, here's the projects over the next 5, 10, 15 years that this would help extend the longevity of those parking lots.
Yeah, and you'll also let them know what the whole city is contributing.
Yes,
up to
exactly.
this point.
Yeah.
What would happen if they said no?
Like I said, the very least we'd have to do, in talking with Dave and Jim, was we'd have to go in there and do some patchwork.
That was what, if they said no or no.
Yeah. We'd have to go in and do.
Right, but so we just wouldn't do that, we wouldn't, if they don't agree.
Yeah, we wouldn't.
To that,
Yep.
okay.
We'd have to go in and do patches.
Gotcha,
because
yes.
We have to make at least.
Something has to be done.
Yeah, at least
Correct.
from a standpoint that we don't have.
People aren't falling into
Yes,
holes,
exactly.
losing children.
Exactly, so that's the very least we'd have to do.
Yeah.
Make it not dangerous.
Correct.
I mean,
Yes.
yeah, make it
Yeah.
safe. What's the amount in the money that's available in the general fund right now?
Oh, I knew you were going to ask
What?
that.
You knew I was going to ask that?
We were, as of a couple of months ago, we were just shy of 6 million in our fund balance.
Okay.
And we have a fund balance policy that we have to keep at least 50% of our operating budget, which our operating budget this year was like just, I think like 6.2. So we'd have to keep a bare minimum of at least 3.1.
And that's,
No matter
that's
what.
for any, like if
Okay.
this
And
flooding
there's how much
that
in there now?
happens to
6?
everybody else.
Yeah,
I mean,
about right around
Okay,
6
so we
million.
can roughly use half of the fund balance, give or take,
Well-
I mean, we would have that to play with.
But we don't really want to, because
No.
but if the river
Yeah.
had wiped out the city, that's the money that we would
Exactly.
need.
Legally, that's the amount that you could
Yes,
do.
okay, all right, that's what
Not the
I,
amount finance would recommend you do, but legally, that's the amount you could do.
okay.
Because potentially, I mean, even, you know, FEMA used to be a big, you'd fall back on that.
Yeah.
That
Not there.
likely is not going to be an option, you know, federal funds for things are not going to be an option going forward, which may not be a bad thing, but that means you've got to have more savings in your account to protect yourself.
And things that used to come directly to the city years ago, since they've been funneled through the state, haven't been coming to the city.
There's going to be more
Yes,
restrictions,
yeah.
and I think where we're headed is more, they're going to pick and choose what they do.
Right, there'll
They're gonna
be more
one-time
strings
payments.
attached
There'll
to-
be one-time payments, or I
Okay.
think where they're headed.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Pretty clear that's where they're, at least current administration, current group, but
But before I go take on public meetings and such, if that's something that you want to, if the commission was willing to do that, as long contingent upon that.
Yeah.
they-
Well, in my mind, the question is, what is the split? I mean, how much are we gonna require from them to pay versus what we're putting in? I mean, there needs to be some sort of a equitable formula for the downtown to put in something, as well as the rest of the citizens. I don't know how anybody else feels. Other comments?
I agree with that.
It's just a matter of, I mean, the city really, we've put millions, literally millions of dollars into the downtown area, which I'm
Right,
very
which
much
is
in favor
important,
of,
yeah, exactly, but
I think it's
going
very
forward.
beneficial, but
Right.
I think it's, the landowners have to chip in as well, so.
Yeah, and equitable is
Yes.
the word that,
Yeah.
people like to use, equitable. And we did talk at our last two meetings, goal setting and in our proposed budget, that this is also an investment, because these are, the downtown is a revenue generator for us, and it is part of the identity and all those things.
It's important,
It's
yeah, I mean, and we're, I think we're,
No question.
I think we've proven
Proven
that we value the
yes,
downtown.
yes.
Certainly.
because I'm hearing that perhaps there will be a pushback on
Well,
that.
nobody likes paying
know,
more. I mean,
correct. I know, but I
there
mean,
will
the
be pushback. There always is
chances
pushback.
may not be accepted,
Well, I'm saying if
it's not,
if we
this
can't,
is
if
what
there's
we
an
can.
agreement, the alternative
but we don't want to keep going
is-
forward in the
yeah.
manner that we have because we can't afford it.
And I think the way we need to do it, the presentation, and I think everybody will understand it, if you look at it from the perspective of, as the downtown as a whole, and the city as a whole, what has the city invested? A lot of property owners have invested as well. The city has now made major investments in the downtown. We need to keep it that way, keep it nice. If you look at the whole thing, I think what we're going to ask of the property owners is going to be very reasonable. I don't see, on a comparative basis, if you look at the grand scheme of things,
Right.
I think it's not going to be hard to come to a deal with.
I would also like to say about the parking lots, if we go into the proposals or whatever, I mean, I know this is coming later and we're talking about it in the budget, but maybe if we could do like a estimate of what the patching would do, what the cost of that would be, how long do they think it's gonna last? You know what I mean? Present both to them.
Yeah.
So that they can, because a lot of the, I know it needs to be done. I know we've invested millions, we've got grants, everything. I understand that. But the times that we're in, the small businesses that we have downtown, also an extra amount of money is a lot right now. So maybe just to show different ways, like, because I don't know asphalt. I could ask my dad, but I don't know how long that those patches will last and the cost of it. So does it cost $300,000 to do the patching, but it cost $1 million to put a new parking lot in? I can't remember the exact amount, but you know what I mean?
No,
Like just general, the general idea is just like,
Yeah.
okay, so that they know that we know that we've looked at everything, but to present it to the downtown businesses saying, we have looked at this and how long it's gonna last and the price that it's gonna be.
Yeah. I have numbers, we talked about
Yeah.
the DDA, other than just what it would cost us if we started going and doing patches.
Yeah.
And patches don't make anybody happy, but
No.
but that's another option. We have not, and when Dave and I and Jim were talking about it, if we say nothing comes to an agreement, this is what we'll have to do,
Yes.
We'll have to do something. And that's the only
Right.
option we'll have left. We'll pull some of those numbers together, but
Just so that they can see, like saying, hey, to temporary fix it, it's gonna cost X amount.
Right.
But if we do the whole fix, so,
The patches go, I mean,
It doesn't-
in my experience.
and in the last 5 years, the increase for construction has went up 75%, so in 5 years, it's probably gonna go up another 75%, so the difference might be,
Pay me now, pay me later. Yeah.
but just,
Right, just to have all the facts.
I think there's no question that we want to figure something out, and I think we want to
yeah.
discuss this. Doing nothing is not an option
Right.
here with this, and I think we have some options And I think we need to carefully look at get the price, how much, what the fix is gonna cost, what several different fixes are gonna cost, see what DDA is willing to, how much of it, the burden they are willing to share, how much we can safely share by taking stuff out of the fund, and make a decision at that point. But yeah, I think we definitely want to consider it something, yes.
Well, at the DDA, as Eric said, at the DDA level, we have looked at several different alternatives already. And so a number of the merchants have been involved in that conversation already, so
Good.
they shouldn't come as a surprise to
Yeah, not-
No, I don't think it's gonna come as a surprise. I was just saying, like,
Yeah.
just to have
And we
all
certainly
the-
don't want to, have them so burdened that they go out of business.
No,
We want
that's
them
not
here.
to our benefit either,
Correct,
no.
so, yeah.
It's just starting to, we've even talked about when we were discussing it, like how do you ramp, and you say, not ramping it up is the best term, but,
Right.
you know, sliding it.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
we start
Ease
off with
into
this,
it,
ease
yes,
into it.
right, correct, yes.
Because if, we talked about if we would have done this in 1982, 83,
Right.
because we found some memos and things when this commission's talked about that.
Contemplated it, yeah.
And decided
Yeah,
not
nah.
to do anything. So if we would have started that in 1982,
Right.
you know, where would our fund
And now
be?
the asphalt is hitting the literal road, parking lots, so, yeah.
But, I'll talk.
So what I'm hearing is we need to schedule some meetings and get that process going again and
I think so.
start that, so. Is that good enough from us, or do you want?
Well, it needs to be part of the motion, right, that I
Well, we can always
say.
amend the budget later.
The budget later.
Is the intention to amend the budget now and put some money?
I don't have a number for you. I don't have a number for you.
Okay, well.
I don't think
If
so.
you want me
We were
to.
just looking for direction, so
Okay.
we're not
Oh,
gonna make any
okay. Oh,
changes.
so nothing-
We're just planning on doing the amendment later if we.
Yeah, whatever we decide later can be added later, we just want
Okay, I was unsure about that.
Plus, some of the discussion of, or some of the feedback that I've got since our last discussion about this at a proposed budget meeting, well, some folks were a little worried that we weren't gonna do anything, is some of the, what I heard. And it's like, no, that's not the
No,
intention of the
that's not
case, so
that.
I wanted to have a lot, you know, a bigger discussion. Plus, it was written in the newsletter, because the paper does, you know, the newspaper
Yeah.
folks do read the newsletter and such, so. Perfect. Okay.
Well, it's also,
Thank
you
you.
know, you've got people sitting there with $1 million building and a parking lot that's falling apart next to it. It's not good for the building owner either to have that situation, so,
It's tough to rent,
yeah.
spaces.
Doesn't make it attractive, does it?
That's right. If you're gonna live and spend $1,800 a month in rent, yeah, you kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
You
safe,
betcha.
and be safe.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to planning and zoning, we have 50,000 attached there. And community safety function, police at 2.5 million. Contribution to the fire board at 335,000. Public safety inspection services, 160,000. Property maintenance function, including the buildings and grounds maintenance, 175,000. Riverside Cemetery at 290. Transportation function, our sidewalk replacement program, 50,000. Non-Act 51 Public Works, 15,000. Our street lighting bill, 155,000. Recreation and culture function, the recreation and culture parks, 712,000. Majority of that, why that's largely like we talked about the budget, proposed budget, that is the Riverside Park rehab. That is, a good portion of that is funded by the grant. Contribution to the Alma Public Library at 100,000. The executive administration function, city commission is at 50,000. City management at 225,000. City clerk at 155,000. Information technology at 115. Elections at 130. Human resources at 215. Engineering at 255. The fiscal services function, fiscal administration at 635,000, assessing at 410,000, and for general fund total expenditures of 7,080,000. Which, like we said, if we didn't add anything else, we are balanced with our revenues. And for the sake of the commission and for those at home, looking at the appropriations in the non-general fund funds, Major Street Fund, we have 1,750,000, local streets at 775,000, Street Millage Fund at 125,000, the Recreation Fund, 75,000, which is what we've been doing there is taking the marijuana revenue sharing money and putting into park improvements around the city. State Street Plaza at 95,000, and as Curtis and I discussed, hopefully we can have that sold here in the fiscal year, so that can be removed from the budget. So
Have we got it listed now?
yes, it is listed. Yes, yep, it is listed. And but we had to put something in this to hold that place. So hopefully we can remove that. The transit services at $1,825,000. The wastewater utility at $2.1 million. Water distribution at $2.6 million, and refuge collection at $865,000. In our component units, the Downtown Development Authority at $65,000, and the Alamo Public Library $1,110,000, and that does include the AC unit capital improvement that we discussed during the proposed budget. And the next category here, we'll talk about that again, but that does include the $160,000 for the replacement of that AC unit. And capital improvements for the fiscal year, election equipment at $45,000, patrol car and upfit for the patrol car at $75,000, sidewalk replacements at $40,000. Downtown street light replacements at $90,000. That'll get us another 2 blocks, and closer and closer to getting all the lights changed out. Nice. Park upgrades, this includes the what we just mentioned with the Riverside Park, $420,000. Major street improvements, $850,000. Local street improvements, $125,000. They kind of mirror each other as you look up and into this category. The AC unit for the library at $160,000. The wastewater SRF upgrades at $20.5 million. That's what we have as a holding place, because that's the dollar amounts we have from the funding source. As I mentioned in the newsletter, that is out for bid, and we should have recommendations and from the engineers and staff at our June 23rd meeting, discuss what we'll ultimately put into that project. Cemetery lawnmowers at $15,000, flat rack truck replacement at $130,000, 12-foot Arctic snow pusher at $25,000, pickup replacement at $60,000, a plow truck GPS system at $8,000, and a V plow replacement. There'll be 2 of those at $20,000.
Curious, the plow truck GPS system, what does that do for us?
Well, a couple things. Dave, you want to?
I guess is that critical to the plowing function?
No, but it does help us with where plows are at, how fast they're moving, how much snow we're moving. We can watch live where they are, where they're pushing snow at. We do get quite a bit of calls, believe it or not, people saying that we're driving, 35 miles an hour and pushing snow. But I'll let Dave talk a little bit more about the details.
Dave Ringel, Public Services Director. Manager's correct with that. The other one is camera footage in case there's accidents. These GPS units have cameras on the front and the back. With what we've experienced with other departments, and this was an MDOT recommendation last 18 months, that any plow units that don't have cameras, you should have them for insurance purposes because of motorist collisions and that type of thing. So trying to be proactive with that. And this will be retrofitted on the big plow trucks.
And also will show that if a mailbox didn't get knocked down, but a resident calls in and says it did, that they can go back and check the footage.
Yeah, and with the GPSs, you can show when you did it, as the manager said, the speeds, because a lot of people say that we speed. A lot of people say you can't plow your streets, or you haven't done it yet, and that type of thing, so we can show the time and when they look by. So.
Is this for all 4 of the big plows, or?
Yes.
And I forgot about the camera side of it, but that is very important these days. It's a protection for our employees that they are doing their job well, and plus it doesn't hurt to let them know that we're paying attention as their supervisors too, of how they are driving. So I forgot about that. Thanks.
And it is good for the public to know that they're being monitored also for safety issues.
Thanks, Dave. I forgot about that part. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. It sounds very reasonable. I just struck me a little odd. You know, when I think of GPS, I think of, you know, how do I get to grandma's house? You tell me where to turn.
maybe it
I'm
was-
thinking our drivers probably know where to turn in town. So,
We've got our city cell phones, Garmin's will figure out for 200
yeah,
bucks on that
so
one.
I'm glad to hear there's more to it than that. So thank you, Dave.
So that is our budgets for this year and the millage rates that we're recommending for assessment across the city.
One thing, quick going back, I just made the library millage you said of 0.9874 here.
Yeah.
Is that the same number you read?
It's
It's
not.
not, it should be 9793. That's in the,
Okay.
that's the one in the, this is the one.
That's the one in the resolution, so this is the one that's wrong, okay.
Yeah, yep,
Okay.
yep. No, this is the one that's in the resolution. This is
Well, I
the-
didn't want us to read one thing and not have it be accurate, so if you, as long as you, I'm sure you got the correct one.
I'll verify it for the next meeting, but I'm pretty sure that's the right one.
This will be a resolution for
I'll double
your
check
next
it.
meeting.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
So
Thank you, everybody.
who has more questions? Anyone? Hearing none, so this is a public hearing. Are there any members of the public that would like to ask questions or comment on the budget? Seeing no one come forward, we'd entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Move to close the public hearing.
We have a motion support. Last chance for comments or questions. I hear none. All those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, no. Motion is carried. The public hearing is closed. Excuse me. So next, we're going to consider a resolution to approve a request for permission from Chasing Fireflies to use a portion of the north-south alley between their storefront at 116 East Superior and the building at 112 East Superior on May 13, 2026, from 4 to 7 p.m. to locate 2 food vendor trucks in support of their 10-year anniversary of being in business in Elma celebration.
Move to adopt.
Support. Motion support.
Yes.
Staff
Yep,
background,
yep,
or-
it's their 10 years.
Hard to believe.
Yes,
Really?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
been 10 years. She's had 2 locations. Yeah, just two locations. Yep. She contacted my office about doing this. I told her that we were supportive, but I needed to get your permission as commission. I did speak with, a public safety, because there is a standpipe that's in that alley as well. So we talked about it and talked with the vendors and things, so everything will be done in a safe manner. It's like Mandy's comment to me was, it's a once in a lifetime, event, and it's from 4 to 7. So I thought, I kind of gave her the go ahead to kind of promote.
Yeah.
It's like tomorrow.
Hopefully, it's tomorrow.
It's like tomorrow, okay.
So, but from a standpoint of permission to use the
We can
public
stop
space,
food
I
trucks
needed
if we
this
get-
board's permission to use that public space. So
Yeah.
it's kind of a ratification, so.
Well, it's something to celebrate because 10 years in a small town is great.
Yeah, and a nice, very nice business too.
Yeah.
But it isn't, you're letting us know this isn't like you've been sitting on it and
No,
and
no,
just decided to do it just to do it. I was pretty confident of that, Eric, so, but thank you for the explanation. Yeah. Yeah, that's wonderful.
Okay. Any more questions or comments? All those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, no. Motion is carried. Thank you. Next, consideration of a resolution to adopt an increase in water ready-to-serve and usage rates to become effective July 1st, 2026.
Move to adopt.
Support.
Okay, and there's, the way I'm reading this, the resolution says ready-to-serve and usage, but down below it says we're not changing the ready-to-serve rate. So it should just be usage, is that correct?
That is
Or-
correct. There's only a change of 30 cents per 1,000 gallons for the usage. There is no change in the RTS, ready to serve fee. That is correct.
Okay, so do we need to modify that motion? Because that isn't really a change. And we're not modifying the existing rate, or we're not doing anything to the, we're not proving the existing rate, right?
But
Well,
we're raising
the
it to
usage
30
rate
cents to
is-
$6.30.
The usage rate, but not the
Yeah,
There's no
ready to
readiness to serve change.
serve. The ready to
That's
serve,
language from last year.
okay, that's what I thought, maybe got it.
Oh, bad.
Okay.
So before you approve the next one too, we should help.
Right.
Cut and paste from last year,
Yeah.
so my apologies.
So, Michelle, I think it was your motion, correct?
Yes, but I don't know what I'm saying.
We're just removing the water, the
ready to serve language, those two words.
increase in the water usage rate.
Because the only thing that's changing is the usage rate, not the ready to serve rate.
Right, okay.
That's correct.
Is that your
Yes.
clarification?
But no, okay, I'm sorry, I'm not understanding.
No,
The
that's-
wording,
please.
the wording is, so it says the water unit charge per 1,000 gallons will increase by 30 cents per 1,000 gallon to $6.30. Done.
Right, that's correct. That's what
And
we're
that
doing.
underneath part is correct. It's just that the motion
And then the
Motion.
second
said
after
to
that-
increase the water ready to serve, and there's no ready to serve change. It's just in the per gallon increase.
Because there's two components. There's
Right.
whether you use any water or not, you pay the ready to serve. And then if you use water, you pay the per gallon rate or per 1,000 gallon rate.
Okay.
So we're
I'm
only
moving to
changing
adopt
one.
to raise it by 30 cents.
The usage
The
rate.
usage rate.
Correct.
And I second that.
Is everybody good with that? Does that make sense
Yes.
then? 'Cause-
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I was reading it back.
Yeah, okay, thank you. And the support was?
Yes,
from-
yep, and I said I
Okay.
agree, yep.
So we're good. All those in favor, please say yes.
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 Any opposed, no. Motion is carried. Thank you. Next, we're considering a resolution to adopt an increase in wastewater and ready-to-serve rates to become effective July 1, 2026. Again, I think we want to remove the ready-to-serve
Just usage.
and just change the increase in,
Change ready to serve to usage.
Correct.
right.
Change, yeah,
okay, change
the word
ready-
usage does not
usage.
appear in that, so. Wastewater usage rates, change ready to serve to
Okay,
use.
so I think we're clear on what the,
I would make that motion.
okay.
Support.
A motion support, last chance for comments or questions. And you're good with the language now? Okay. All those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Motion is carried. Thank you. Number 4, consideration of a resolution to adopt an increase in the solid waste ready-to-serve rate from $25 per residence to $26 per residence, which will become effective with all solid waste bills mailed after July 1, 2026.
Move to adopt.
Support.
Motion support, comments or questions?
Just our annual increase for our trash recycling.
Because our
And
cost
then-
is going up, we're just
Yep.
passing up theirs, right? So-
Yep.
Okay, anybody else have comments or questions?
Should I abstain from that vote?
I certainly could.
You don't work there anymore? Oh, you
Well, you do work,
still
yeah,
work there.
you do work for the
I did as
vendor.
a 5 o'clock.
I mean,
Yeah, sorry, Sarah just got me some.
I was thinking about locally. My mistake.
the important thing is you disclose it. I don't think you have to necessarily abstain, but it's your
Okay.
choice if you
No,
prefer
I just
to.
didn't know.
It's not material.
Okay.
I don't think so. If you had a
Unless you're
material
getting
interest.
cut. Okay.
I mean, if you own the firm, it may be different, but you're an employee that isn't part of the contract with it, so.
Okay.
Anyway, we have a motion.
So that was your disclosure? You want a disclosure?
Yes, I do work at Granger Waste Services.
Okay. Who is the vendor for this product? So. Any more comments or questions? We have a motion, support on the table. All those in favor, please say yes.
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 Any opposed, no. And anyone abstain? So not, okay, unanimous, very good, thank you. Ordinances, we're to consider a resolution to adopt ordinance number 852, which is an amendment, an ordinance to amend the City of Elma Code of Ordinances at section 60-36 and the City of Elma zoning ordinance at section 60-61 to regulate the requisite front yard setback for real property that is located in the R1 Single Family Residential Zoning District. Your pleasure.
Move to adopt.
Support.
We have a motion support.
This
Can you
is
give more background on this?
This is our
Or
final
missed
step.
it?
Yep, this is our final step to adopt the amendment for the front yard setback in the R1 zoning district from 30 to 25. This will then match up with the R2 zoning district of 25 and the R1A, which is a front yard setback of 25. So those match those all up. Each zoning, this zoning district and those two I mentioned will still remain, will keep their other uniqueness for side yard setbacks, lot coverages, and square footage required per lot.
Should that wording and those numbers be in the ordinance we're adopting from, 20 to 35 or whatever, should that be in there? So that the ordinance says what the new setback is?
If it helps any, I typically attach a copy of the ordinance to the minutes.
Okay, all right, that's fine, yeah. And just, I could move it to 7 feet if I wanted to from what that says, you know, so.
Well, no, because it's as written in ordinance number
Okay.
852, correct?
Yeah.
Perfect, thank you.
And the ordinance.
Yeah, if you click on it,
specifies
it
what you're doing.
takes you down into your
Okay.
ordinance here.
Great, thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Comments or questions? I missed something.
So does that make,
I just said we're having a lot of questions.
well, does it
That's
make
good. Honestly, I like that. I like it when people have
difference
questions.
to
We should
people
be.
that are, I mean, if it's going, it doesn't make any difference? Okay, it doesn't affect anything? Or did you, or when you said people were maintaining, I guess I don't
Well,
really.
I say, you got an R1, which has requirements for how large the size of the lot is, just like R2 and R1A. Those are larger lots. An R1A is a smaller lot, and R2A allows you to have 2-family residential on that lot, and they're a little bit bigger. So each one maintains their uniqueness, other than that they'll all match for the front yard setback.
So the other differences will remain between
Yes,
these different
yes.
districts because.
But the front yard
Just the front yard
setback going,
setback,
Just happens to be the same as in all of those now.
right, but for the people that are going from the 30 to the 25, does that 5 yards doesn't mean anything?
If you wanted to,
If they wanted to
put
front porch
something on your front of your house, yeah.
Yeah,
If you don't, then, no, you just leave her, just where you're at, so, yeah.
it just means that they can't.
Well,
So
potentially,
people that, if people were already in, or we've, I mean, I don't know I mean, I understand when you explain the differences, but like when I'm driving around, I don't know who's, you know, like if some.
yeah, you have to go to the zoning map and figure out
Right,
what's in
but
which.
so it's not affecting people that are currently there that have, that,
No.
okay, that's all I
No,
wanted to know.
like in my
Like if
corner,
somebody
my-
had something, we're not going in and saying, okay, sorry, we
No.
passed this,
No, your
pull
grandfather
your
did.
porch off
Yeah,
or
your
whatever.
grandfather didn't, like I'm in an R1 zoning district, I have no backyard.
Oh, right,
So
Here.
I'm a permitted, non-conforming structure,
okay,
because I'm not conforming, but I'm permitted to be there because it's been existing. I do not meet R1 zoning
Okay.
whatsoever. in
okay,
my-
that's what,
my lot,
right.
so, yeah.
Okay, thank you, that's all I wanted to know.
Yeah, no
We were
problem,
gonna
yeah.
tell people things that they weren't gonna be happy about.
You can have a
I
call.
think it's
I
time
mean,
to
I
make
like-
Aaron conform.
Move the house, okay, move that way. Okay, move that way.
I like the consistency.
I have no backyard in my house, but I'm in an R1
Yeah.
because they were developed during a different time period in our
Okay.
city.
And I thought we had.
Probably before there was any zoning at all,
Yeah,
Right.
quite honestly.
Right, you just plunk your house down.
Yeah,
wherever,
yeah.
You own the land, you build what you want.
Right.
But, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I can, you send them my way
I
if
just
you want me to.
no, and I just wondered because like there was a shed in my yard,
Yeah.
butted right up against the fence that was the property line. But then when we took that down and knew it needed to be,
Yes.
because I'm a rule follower,
Yep.
5 feet or whatever
5 feet.
from, you know, and so I just wanted to make sure that people. who
Yep, because
were-
you're bringing in something new. So if I was to tear down my house,
Yeah,
I'd
then
either.
they need to have a backyard.
I'd have to have a backyard, or I have to come to the zoning board of appeals and show mine.
Because you have such an opulent house, Eric, you have no backyard. Just kidding.
Well, that's the process. You come in and say, well, we still want a house built in these older neighborhoods, but you need a variance to, take away that,
Okay, gotcha.
a variance to take away the hardship of, we're in an older side of the city, but we still want a home built there, because there's benefits to the neighborhood, the
Sure.
city, and the tax base, the school district, people living there. So you work through that process, but this is the minimum standard that you have.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And I feel like after decades of this, I should know these things, but I appreciate answering those questions. Thank you.
And I answer them all the time. So if anybody does have questions, that
Okay.
you have constituents that ask those questions, send them my way and I'll be happy to talk to them.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, more questions on this topic? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, no. Motion is carried, thank you. Moving to agreements, we are to consider a resolution to renew the Energy Demand Response Renewal Program agreement with Consumers Energy for a term of 2 years, presumably running from June 1, 2027 through May 31st, 2029, and to authorize the mayor to sign on behalf of the city. Pleasure.
Support.
A motion support.
Yeah, this has been a actual positive revenue side for us with Consumers Energy. There, in the note there, it gives you some details on how many times the Consumers has reached out to us to turn on our generator and go off the grid. And they give us a stipend amount per year to do that, no matter how many times we do that. But there is a limit on how many times that they can ask us to do it as well. We've never even come close to of hitting that threshold. It's been a benefit for us for sure.
And then it's also good to know that we can use that the backup's working, right? I mean,
It does.
Yeah, you have to test that anyway.
It runs it, it runs it.
Yes, to check it, that's good, yeah.
Yep, and if it
Yeah.
fails, fail over safe, fail safe over, and it's been a positive thing for us.
Have you had Curtis run the numbers and find out just the dollar value of the contract? What we've actually saved by doing it? I mean, that would be
I
interesting.
haven't ran numbers, but it's definitely
It's
possible.
not critical, but I would love to see the analysis and just see what it's,
In the past, we've gotten up to like 5,000 a year, and according to our records, like last year, we only turned on once for 20 minutes, and they gave us 5,000. In diesel fuel, that's what I was looking at, is how much diesel we're gonna run as opposed to kicking on the electricity. As the manager mentioned, we've never come close to even doing that, so the net positive that we've gotten, one year they asked us to turn it on 3 times, and it's never been more than 2 hours at a time when they do it. So as far as the diesel cost, in total, we've probably spent $2,000 comfortably in the span of 5 to 6 years we've done this total. So it's been a good, they asked us this contract more times to turn it on than they have in the past. Before it was 5. I think now it's up to 7 or 8 they're asking us for the availability of. But in the past, we've never come close to that, so.
And what are they doing when they ask us to, I mean, I thought it
probably
was.
peak times.
Okay,
It's-
that's
it's
okay, because I was wondering.
Middle of the
if it was
afternoon,
like
hot
air
summer day
conditionings that people
when
can
the windmills aren't
have
running
it
and,
automatic.
and
Okay.
everybody's air conditioning is.
Yep.
They've never actually done it on those peak days. What they have done is for their own purposes to see how much it takes off the grid is what they've called us. Like, the
So they
first
can
year
see
we
in
did it, that's what it
general
was. And then
average.
last year when we turned it off, turned it on for 20 minutes, that's what it was trying to anticipate how much you could take off the loads from the clients that
Okay.
have signed on with us.
I just think it'd be a good exercise to run the numbers and say, okay, if they ask us the maximum amount of time to run our generators, the maximum under the contract, what would it cost us to do that? Diesel's gonna be, what is it, $6 a gallon now? Versus whatever, I mean, just run the numbers so you have that. It'd be interesting to see that analysis if you can put it together. Just because I like dumb numbers.
Dumb number guy.
But yeah, it's just fun to look at those things to me. Anybody else have comments or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say yes.
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 Any opposed, no. Motion is carried. Thank you. Moving down to reports of officers, boards, and committees. Commissioners may receive the following reports by one resolution, or any commissioner may remove any item within the section for individual discussion and vote. Before us tonight, we have the Alma Police Department April 2026 report, the Alma Transit April 2026 report, the April 2026 building permits report, the Parks Committee April 27, 2026 draft meeting minutes, the Planning Commission May 4, 2026 draft meeting minutes, the Gratiot Water Authority May 1st, 2026 draft meeting minutes, and the City Manager's report. Your pleasure.
Move to receive 1 through 6.
Support.
We have motion support. Any comments or questions? I hear none. All those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, no. We have received those reports.
Move to receive number 7.
Support.
We have a motion support. Eric.
All right. Starting off with something fun, the sculpture program. We're going into our second year with that. The Alma Public Arts Advisory Board and KV has decided to keep the 3 that we've had for the last year, and then we're adding 2 more this year. Yeah, Curtis is showing you. One is called the Kaleidoscope, and the other one is Protective Species. One will be located in the alley between the Cobbler Shop and the Wright Lapine Opera House block, and the other one will be located down in the newly acquired Pocket Park next to the community cabinet area there. So those will be showing up here this week. for the community. Also, the art banners are done, so those will be going up as well this week and probably early next week.
We have not had any vandalism to the ones that have been there. I know, Jack. Shut up, Roger.
People ideas, because you know vandals are watching city commission.
Yeah, they are.
Cameras are everywhere, folks. Cameras are everywhere.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
The Peacock has become a fixture for sure because
Yes,
people
thanks.
say, Peacock Alley, which is a
that's cute.
good thing because
Yeah.
when people buy in and call it their own thing, you got something going there. So it's been a great program to work with. We're happy to work with the Clare County Council of the Arts.
I love them.
And this is a good way for us to do it without, spending on one of those sculptures could cost $8,000 to $10,000 to commission. So this has been a good thing for us, and hopefully other people are seeing that. And we sent out solicitation letters for KB this week. So if people are positive about the things that KB is doing with the Public Arts Group, feel free to provide some dollars to help keep these projects moving. So happy to see 2 more coming down. In the fiscal year 2027 budget, we've already talked about the parking lots, but we did want to ask also, we did mention at our the budget proposal meeting with all the capital improvements at the library. One that we've budgeted for this year for the air conditioning replacement of possibly looking at, do we do a bond millage for those capital improvements on the library specifically to kind of take those off of the burden from something else. People seem like they're pretty positive and supportive of the library, that could help offset some of the other costs we can put toward other things in the capital needs. If commission is interested in doing that, we can reach out to council and see where we're at with the amount of what we could maybe approve here at just a commission level, or what we'd have to go out maybe for a bond itself where it to be voted on. Curtis was telling me that if we did want to do something more sooner than later, that we'd probably have to come up with, yes, we want to do this because we have to have bond language to the clerk and to the county by July, I believe it is.
We'd have to approve it by our first meeting in July here.
In July. So, just wanted to see what you guys, if that was something you were serious about looking into, going down that path to fund those things, or was just...
You mentioned what we could do at our level without going out for a vote and issuing a bond.
I think,
I guess I'm curious.
broke the rule like 3 times tonight.
I didn't know we had a possibility of that.
So,
And you are who, sir? Please
yes,
identify
I'm the
yourself.
finance director.
Here in the city of Elm, I take it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So I'm here. So there's a couple of options. It depends on how we want to go, and we're still working on exactly what we're allowed to do. So you're allowed to do up to 2 mills for a library. One thing that I'm still trying to get clarification on is for the $0.5 mil that the county collects and sends to us, if that counts towards that 2 mil limit or not. Because if that does, we already have the 1 mil locally plus the $0.5 mil there, then the limit that we would be able to do is $0.5 mil if we're doing it just as an operating or sinking fund. If you do it as a debt millage, you can go beyond that 2 mil as a vote of the people. And you can do it as a debt millage. It is my understanding, again, this is where I'm getting clarification too, that if we do it as a debt millage, what we would do is we would take all the projects that we have at the library over the next 5 to 10 years, we'd put them all together into one bond. We'd say, total projects are gonna be $800,000. We're gonna put that together as one 10-year bond. This is how much we would need to raise, that's how we would do it, and that's how we would go out. So if we did it that way, obviously it'd just be for capital. If we just did it if we just do an additional 1 mil or $0.5 mil, whatever we do to get up to the 2, then we wouldn't have to necessarily bond the project, we could just do it as we go. But I don't know, I just want to make sure that we hit that. I know that there's a debt ceiling, I'm unclear exactly to what all goes into that ceiling for what we can do for a library. So those are kind of our options that are on the table.
And personally, my preference would be to find out answers to those questions, and then we can have a discussion. I would like to have that discussion.
And it is the opinion of the board that we're doing this as, regardless of which direction we go, we're doing this as a maintenance fund, not as an addition to the operating fund? Is that, I just want to make sure I'm understanding this correctly.
That was, I think, my initial
Okay, I
thought.
just wanted to make sure I was understanding your wishes correctly too, because I don't know how that plays it, so.
Well, otherwise, the maintenance is gonna come out of the operating fund.
Right, exactly. That would just give you more, doing it that way would give you, you'd be limited on what you could borrow, but it would give you more flexibility with it. Doing it the other way would give you less flexibility, but would give you more options. So it really just depends. Yeah, there's not necessarily a wrong way, it's just a preference way. I just wanted to know which way.
Yeah. Please find your answers, sir.
All right, keep on the topic of financing. At our last GAWA meeting May 1st, the board reviewed and approved a recommendation from the City of St. Louis and the City of Alma Finance Departments to transition the accounting services from St. Louis back to the City of Alma. Along with that, the accounting services come back to the city, that there'd be the reestablishment of the finance committee within GAWA, and the two finance directors would serve as advisory capacity to help support the budget development, rate setting activities, and so on. This would take place, we're coming back to the city on July 1st of the new fiscal year. But St. Louis would be completing the final year-end audit, closeouts, and all that stuff that GAWA is currently under. And I just want to say publicly that very much appreciate City of St. Louis and all their work and efforts taking over the finances during that time period, and especially for the closeout of the EPA project itself. That's not easy to close out any grant project, but especially one from the federal government that large. So I do appreciate everything that they've done and will continue to do, because we're still be working in partnership with them with GAWA. So some needs we want to share with the commission. Another water-related item, the drinking water SRF program, the line replacement. Believe it or not, we're coming very close to the end of that window of that funding. End of August, we have to have basically all these projects done. That's why we're under construction now downtown, and we'll soon be under construction on River and Austin, get that done. They're diligently working on replacements of the galvanized lines that potentially could have been attached to lead. We have 79 lines that have been completed, got 35 remaining, and 27 of those folks have signed authorizations to get those done. But we still have 8 that remain unresolved. 2 of them are folks that there's somebody that lives there, and they've told us no. Which we'll go into that a little bit later. But the other ones are, what we can tell, are vacant homes that aren't.
They're not habitable.
Yeah, so that's what when I was reading that, they're just there and no one owns them or lives there?
Well, they're not responding to us.
Yeah.
Of all these different ways we try to contact.
Yeah, no, I read all the.
There's no evidence of life.
Right.
So they're not currently getting service.
The water's shut off to most of them, other than there's 2 that I have questions on if they're still getting water, but no, they're not. There hasn't been anybody there for years, and we've tried to make contact 10 to 12 times, day, night, morning, midday, no one's answering, nobody's responding to letters or anything.
Taxes and things are paid, but there's nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, the lawns get mowed or they get charged and
Yes, they
paid
get
for us
charged,
to mow
they get
the
put, yeah, and
lawn
then if they don't pay it, then we roll it onto the taxes. So all that being said, the vacant ones, what staff would like to do is, State of Michigan looks at it and says if there's a curb stop there, that's a law. Yep, shut it off, and not just shut it off, but if there's no one living there, it looks like it's abandoned, remove it. That way we can take it off. We don't have to report it to Eagle anymore. And before someone can move back into the home, obviously they need a new water line because we've abandoned that water line.
And they will now pay for it.
They will pay for it. So
Yeah.
if the
Yeah.
commission, that's where we'll head down that one.
Yes.
Now, the one that's a little more complicated is the one.
two people that say they
the
won't.
folks who are living there, they won't let us on site or to change out the water line. Talking with the attorney, we'll have to, we'd have to have an ordinance, kind of like what we did with the meters, where we put on that fee. If you didn't change out your water meter, we're gonna charge you $100 a month until X date, and then we would shut your water off. There, we weren't potentially serving someone contaminated water. Here, that's the whole thing, is that we have liability that essentially we are providing.
I thought we already passed an ordinance to increase their bills and.
We do on that was for the water meters. This is for.
We didn't do that for the lines? I thought we
laterals.
did the lines as well.
We didn't do the
Okay.
laterals, no. So even if we did it that way, because there's the three ways.
We don't have enough
We could,
time. Yeah.
well, time, and plus, we're still then we're admitting that we're still not gonna shut their contaminated water, because the state of Michigan's looking at us saying,
Yeah.
you're getting water.
We can't serve them.
We can't serve them.
Right.
So, the attorney says we can do, to shut off two different ways. One, we shut it off and
Good luck.
Good luck.
Yeah.
And
And they, in their refusal, do they understand that these are the possibilities
And-
that are gonna happen?
yeah, and right now, we do have grant funds to pay for it. This is what makes it rough for the rest of the ratepayers. It's like, hey, we got this grant funds.
Right.
We'll have to replace at some point unless
And
we
come out of
come out with something
our
that
coffers.
say, listen, once we shut it off and we go past August, there is no turning back.
It's then up to
It's
them to
up to
rebuild
them.
their line and prove that they've got a good line to hook it into.
So, but also it pushes us into, I had a conversation with the attorney about it, because on the rental inspection side of it, if you don't have a habitable space, you have to evict. You have to get people out of that space. So now that if you shut their water off and they still refuse to set up the time to have that water line replaced, we'd have to start basically eviction process to ask them to vacate the premises.
It's not safe.
Yeah, because there's no water. You have to have water to have a habitable dwelling. The other option, then shutting it off, and then, hopefully they would do it before that, because we would send out a letter before saying, we will shut your water off, here's our ordinance. You have until this date to do it. If not, we're coming to shut it off, but then we start X, Y, and Z, which is no fun for anybody. The other way to do it is basically a court order from the judge, lack of a better word, to go on site and you forcibly change out the line, which can be done. I personally don't necessarily
I would
like that idea.
go for the
Try option
former.
one.
Yeah, I would go the former
Yeah.
route.
Yeah.
Say, hey, do you have this option? If you
And
want.
did you say they're rentals?
These are the homeowners saying, whoever the owners are,
Okay.
whoever has the authority of the property.
It's saying no, but there are then different people living in them.
Did we change the meters on these properties? Inside the dwelling?
Yes, yes,
So we've been inside the dwelling?
yes.
And they won't let us come in to,
Give them a new water line. That's where we're at.
I would
That's where we're
say
at.
the letter, this is the date, and the water will be turned off, and you will have to pay the fee if it's not done by August 1st, and we're
Well, we'll
done.
have the ordinance back to you,
Yeah.
but it'll be more than that. It'll be shut off.
Yeah.
And,
and you're done.
And the house.
It also needs eviction.
I mean, we have to do that because they have chosen not to do the request that we have to do by
Yeah, we're mandated for this.
Yeah.
We don't have a choice.
It's not our
So-
decision.
But it's not necessarily a formal rental is what you're saying. That possibly, and we don't know, but possibly the person we're contacting that's refusing has different people living in.
the owner of the property is all I can say to you.
Yep,
Is
okay.
refusing us
Gotcha.
access to
Correct, okay.
do the work.
Okay.
And we can't provide water, according to
Right.
state law.
Right, well,
that
and we don't
could
want to, because
potentially
it's not-
have been
Correct.
contaminated by lead.
Right.
So then we,
On the hook.
not just us here at the city commission, but the whole community
Yes.
is liable. for
Okay,
it.
so here's my question. If we send that letter out and we say you have how many days, like, we have to have it done by August 1st, right? So we're moving into May 15th, 13th tomorrow. So by June 1st, your water's gonna be, I mean, we have to give time for them to get in there and get it fixed, right? We need it to be by third week of July to confirm that we have it done. If they run into any problems. So really, we should want it done by July 1st. 30-day notice.
That's what we would look at. You could do two different ways, but I would recommend if it's not replaced by, we'll pick the date of
June
July
30th.
1 right now,
Yeah.
June 30th. If it's not replaced, then your water will be shut off X date, and it will not be turned on until the water line is replaced. And to build on what the manager has mentioned, after this August date, let's say, nope, shut it off, I don't care. Come September, okay, the gig's up, I want water. Now our ratepayers out of our water fund has to pay to replace that. We cannot formally charge the property owners to replace that water line after that. That comes out of our distribution fund to replace these lines.
If we
So
shut
right
it
now,
off.
that's the idea, yes, that's the idea.
So we still have to, we're still gonna be paying?
Still be liable to replace it. if
That's
they-
why-
Oh, right, if we didn't do this.
Yes.
Yes, no, no, yes, I understood that. I thought you meant that we still were, even
That's
if
where
we
you
did.
have to
Yeah.
go to
Correct.
automatically, I hate doing,
I'm-
right to like, the lack of a better word, the eviction
Correct.
process.
So in our letter, we can say, like, I think we should tell them, like, your water's gonna be turned off on June 30th. Because that gives them 30 days to say,
To get out.
I don't have water, I need water, because then we're giving them the ultimate final choice. Like, you have, if your water's turned off June 30th, you have 30 days. If you do it in that 30 days, it'll be paid. If it's August 1st, you pay.
Well, they don't really have 30 days to do it though, right? Because they can't wait until June 20, or July 29th. We don't have
June
enough time.
30th would be a good date if we're talking about.
Right,
That's a
right,
good
but then you were saying.
They're
then
turning
they
off
have
the
a month.
water on June
Yes,
30th.
But then you were saying, then they have a month to decide. They have a month to
Well, they
decide.
have a month
From
to-
May 30th.
If they go a week without water and say this isn't fun, we schedule it, we can
Yeah.
replace it and still have the grant funds to pay
Right,
for
correct,
it.
that, right.
You have until-
I just wanted to make sure that.
You have
we
until
weren't saying
July
that they had till
23rd,
July
or whatever date,
June,
July
not July.
15th to schedule it. Anything after July 15th will not be.
We'll have to bring back an ordinance anyway for the next
Yeah.
meeting. So we'll bring back a schedule. for
Yeah,
you to
just-
look at
just give them
and
like
the
that.
water.
Specifics is what you're.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, like
Whatever
exactly date.
June.
5 PM
Yeah.
on June 30th, your water's gonna be turned off.
June 30th is a Tuesday.
Yes, so it's gonna be paid out. I'm just using an example. June 30th, 5 PM, your water's gonna be turned off. You have until July 15th at 5 PM to schedule it. If not, you move into not getting it reimbursed with our program. Like, that's what I'm asking, because some people need it specifically
Right.
by the
But
hour,
And I
by
was
the
just,
minute.
and I was just saying that I think the specific cutoff needs to be June, not wait until July 15th for the option, because there's not enough time
But to be
to.
clear, the ones that I know of consciously know this. They've said, we're just not replacing it.
Okay.
It's not a matter of they don't know, they haven't heard.
Right.
There's been several letters.
Oh, no,
It's
no,
nothing that's gonna catch
I'm
anybody,
confident
but
of that as
There's
well.
2 of them that I officially know of that would brought it up to goal setting is, give me the form, I'll sign it. I don't want you here, I'll waive you of responsibility, but that still doesn't take us off the books. We still have to have these remediated.
Right.
And even if we went year by year asking, we still have to monitor these. And at some point, somebody's going to say, okay, just replace. If it's a new owner, that comes out of our distribution funds to
Right,
replace those.
right, and I just don't, and I know you're gonna figure out the specifics in the correct way. I just don't want it going into July 15th for them to decide, because A, they're gonna have to get out because there's no water in it, and you can guarantee if we're trying to have somebody do this mid-July, end of July, there will be issues that push us past
Oh.
our August 1st deadline, so I would like
Oh, you
June
want it to be
30th to
the
be the.
June 30th, okay.
Yeah, this is, it's shut off, and, you don't get 2 more weeks to decide or whatever of living without water. Because we need to give ours, this has been how long? Years. Years. So I think that, and they've been communicated with, they're not willing. June 30th is donezo. That's it. missed the boat or the bus or the water pipe train, whatever we want to call it, it's done. And now I don't want to go into July.
Give them minimum amount of time.
Correct.
Whatever the minimum amount of time
Correct,
is necessary.
because we need as much time as possible if someone comes to their senses at the 11th hour. I don't want it to be on our 11th hour of,
And do we shut them, is it shut off, or do we remove service, or how does it make a difference on how you word that?
We would turn it
Or
off.
what you do?
I'd have to talk to the attorney if it would be called discontinued service or the water would be shut off. I don't know the legalese.
Yeah, legally, it may make a difference on how you term that, and what you do if you just turn the meter off or remove the meter, or versus capping the pipe or something, I don't know what the difference
yeah, and
is.
there's not a way that people that are not wanting to participate in the city services can turn that back on themselves.
That's one of the options we're gonna have to look at.
Well, that's what I don't want that, because I feel like
Right.
people that have thought this, and I'm using the term thought loosely, but that they may have a plan of,
That's where I'm getting to. If you dig
yeah,
up- if
that
dig up
you
a pipe
pull
and
it
put a cap
out,
on it,
pull it out, you do
if the
something.
meter's in the basement, they
Yeah,
can put a bridge in
correct.
and do that. But
Yes.
if you dig up the yard and put a cap on the pipe, they're not
Yeah.
going back in and
Yeah,
uncapping that thing.
even if they have welding tools and,
Right.
Well, we just wanted to verify that
Thank you,
you're willing to
Brian.
go.
Yes.
You're willing to
Thank you.
go, this is, so if someone comes and says, hey, this is unfair, we're also wanting, not just you know, but the public to know that
Correct.
right now is the fairest time to do it because we got state grant money to do this. If we had to do it
and we're
later.
not singling anyone out. Everyone had to
And
participate.
if people stop and think just for 2 minutes about, okay, this person wants to be, oh, I don't want you to do it, I'll sign a waiver. Well, say it was attached to lead at some point and there was contamination there. You're putting your family and
Correct.
kids at risk, and who's to stop someone from suing us in the future?
Right, or if
Even though they
a
signed a
friend
piece of
comes
paper.
over, drinks the water, and it has trouble, and they didn't sign the waiver.
Yeah. Even if they sign a waiver though,
I know,
Yeah.
I'm familiar.
that's where,
with-
that's
yeah.
where, that's, you
Right.
know, so I appreciate that. We'll get that ready for next commission meeting to get in front of you, and well, hopefully we can knock these out. I hope we can.
Just minimize whatever options you
Minimize,
gotta get.
yes.
I hope we can.
Cut the times as short as you can.
Yep. Public Works projects, Chatterton, that project, the water main there is all set. We just need asphalt to go down. On the West Center Street and State Street, we are not going to be, those are not going to be open and ready for festival. We have redone our detour routes for festival weekend, so they'll be a little less convenient, but that's what we got to work around. Again, here, so next year, we probably shouldn't have anything that will interfere with the parade or anything like that for festival.
We are all used to construction.
Yep.
It's okay.
The last couple, 3 years, yeah. And,
Anywhere you drive, and we're gonna have construction.
The only thing worse than construction is to not have construction.
Yes, it's progress.
that's right.
That's just maintenance. We're not progressing. We're just trying to maintain it.
Yes, true. And then we already mentioned that to the commission that we're out for bid for our wastewater treatment. That's the Clean Water SRF. We have 2 new Fire Academy graduates. Zachary and Colton have passed their Fire 1 and 2. Great to have them on, and good to have some younger people on the fire department. So,
Very young
Careful
people.
what you say there.
well, it's good because you gotta have someone carrying the hoses. So
Jim can still carry that.
congratulations to them, and it's a lot of hours of study and time away from families to go over for the trainings and everything else. So appreciate that, and congratulations to both of them. And also, I just wanted to provide again some photos of the expansion of the transit center. But I do have some good news. Speaking with the contractor at our meeting last week, we do see a light at the end of the tunnel. With all the punch list items that they have there in the newsletter, we are looking to be done on May 29th. So that's what they told me, which is good. Yes, so this is 2026, yes. And which is good because the asphalt company is supposed to be in the first week in June. So that is, hopefully that happens properly because
It's a domino effect.
yes, it is. Want it all done. So Sorry for the long newsletter this week, but appreciate your feedback, and we'll get those things to you here this next meeting, and hopefully get this drinking water SRF stuff closed out. So
Cool.
Thank you.
Okay, who has questions for Eric? We haven't asked so far.
We're supposed to wait.
We didn't interrupt you, so
that's fine.
We just
I don't hear
busted
any,
in.
so all those in favor of accepting that report, please say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, no. Motion's carried. You've accepted your report. Thank you, Eric. New business. We're to consider a resolution to cancel the special city commission meeting, which is scheduled for May 19th, 2026, which was a budget meeting that we just approved, so we didn't need that extra meeting.
Move to adopt.
Support?
Okay, we got motion support. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say yes.
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 Any opposed, no. Motion is carried. Thank you. Excuse me, appropriations. We have an interest in paying bills.
Move to pay the appropriations.
Support.
Motion support. Any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, no. Motion is carried. Bills can be paid. Commissioner comments. Sonia. Lita. Michelle. Can you top that?
Yes. Thank you to Curtis and the team for all the workers that did the budget. It's nice to have them go so smoothly. And welcome everybody to Highland Festival. They're still looking for banner holders for the parade. If anybody would like to volunteer and have fun at the festival.
Good. Sure.
48-hour musical this weekend downtown. Last I looked, I think there's 16 tickets left, so it is a hair away from a sellout, but it should be. I've never seen anything like what they're trying to do, so it should be something to see. They'll all find out on Friday what show they're doing. On Sunday they're going to put it on, so it should be fun.
Interesting is the least of it.
Yeah.
All right. Roxanne.
To echo Eric's thanks to Bobby and the St. Louis finance team for the Water Authority. They've done a tremendous job, and grateful to be working with them, and grateful that Curtis has got us shaped up over here that we can take that back. So thank you for all that. And then I also wanted to mention that the increase in the water, which I know makes no one happy. I understand, and I also pay an increased water rate, but we're doing this 5% regular intervals as opposed to 15% or something even more hurtful to your financial situation, which I think is a better way to go about it. And we are still below the state average on rates. And so I want people to also understand we had discussed this when we first started talking about it, but we are still not at, I know that's no comfort when you're paying your bill, but I think these are reasonable, spaced out increases that people can budget for, and that we're also funding depreciation in a way that we have not always, our predecessors and us have not always done. And so we're working towards having money on hand for when things need to be replaced or taken care of, and which I also think is sound financial progress. I was correct on? I always like to check, make sure Dave's not going. So.
You can elaborate on some of the big budget stuff coming up if you want.
Well, and I did, yeah, we do have a big, just wanted to mention, we had moved the lime basins, moved up. I had notes about why we were moving it up. It was something important. What was the important?
They're filling up fast, and we bumped it up a year, so we're going to start the study on removing that this year with the idea that first thing, probably next year, we're going to start hauling lime out of those sludge pits, so.
Yeah.
That's going to be very expensive on top of some of the other replacements as far as pump and infrastructure that are already starting to come up on that.
Yes, and everything else is what we had, because we have a projection out to 2031 that they have the smart accountant people calculate all of this stuff that, so we're not just flying by the seat of our pants, but, so then we recognized that something needed to be done with the line basins and to get started on that, so moved it up a year. And so the 2027 budget total is $489,000, is that correct? Yeah. So, yeah, so good things still happening at the Water Authority, and I'm very pleased of our partnership for this many years with St. Louis. I think it benefits both Alma and St. Louis, so thank you to everyone. Thanks.
Roger.
I just reiterate what everybody has said so far, and also welcome aboard and congratulations to our 2 new firefighters.
Yes.
Well said. Sarah?
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Eric, anything more?
Just a festival. Yeah, please volunteer if you can, or if you can't, just come and have fun. We need people. Invite your family, but a great way to go for nothing is to volunteer. You get a free pass, so please come.
And the kids for the banner carriers, I think that was what Drew mentioned, that they're looking for kids there. It always seems to be a shortage of kids to carry those banners in the parade, so it'd be great.
So if you've got some kids you want to wear themselves out walking in the parade, who do you contact?
I think they get a ticket to the festival.
Sure,
so
absolutely,
have
yeah.
some fun and watch their friends, so.
Who do they contact? Was it you, Michelle, that had mentioned it?
Yeah, I mentioned it, that
But you
Alma
don't
Highland
know.
Festival Committee, they can.
Alma Highland.
I think you can go online and
Yes, you go online, Brett.
Yep, just wanted to make sure people knew who to contact.
Call Michelle.
No, not call Michelle. That's not what I was saying.
But certainly want to mention also our partnerships with St. Louis. The Water Authority is just one of many, and you know, they've been, you said, extremely beneficial both to us and to St. Louis residents. I think it's great, and I can certainly see and hope for more of that same type of cooperation in the future. I want to commend staff on the new hours for City Hall. We're now open from 8 to 5 with no closing for lunch. Is that correct? So the service levels to the community have increased, and that was entirely staff's doing, so we appreciate the efforts of staff to do that, and that's a good thing. And I don't know if I mentioned it before, the painting up here looks nice. So really dressed it up there on the service counter, so appreciate that.
Looks nice.
Are there different summer hours, like Friday closed?
I think during COVID, the hours got changed and we were closed over the lunch hour, then they closed at 4:30.
Right, but I thought I read something, but I could be wrong.
Well, right now what we're doing is
It's
we're
the
trying
8 to
this out.
5, Monday
Yeah,
through Friday?
Monday through Thursdays. 8 to
Monday through
5,
Thursday,
and then
yes,
noon to
okay,
fi-
yes,
noon,
that's what I thought.
8 to noon on Friday.
Yes.
We're trying this out through the summer months, see how it works out for the public.
Yep.
Because it's more hours than what we were
Yes.
providing before.
Yes.
So if it works out, we may keep these hours.
Okay,
So-
but I just wanted to clarify, my Friday was not 8 to 5.
Should I say Monday through Friday?
I just,
But anyway, I do appreciate staff giving additional hours
Yes.
for customers to come in, for citizens to come in and conduct their business, so I think that's great. Okay, with that, we'll open it up to the members of the public. If anybody of the public would like to address the commission, please go to the podium, state your name and address, and you have up to 5 minutes to share your thoughts, Dave.
Sarah's not talking, I'm not talking.
Okay, well, on that note,
Move to adjourn.
okay, we do it.
Support.
We have motion support. Last chance for comments or questions. I hear none. All those in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, no. Motion is carried. We are adjourned. Thank you very much. Have a great evening.
Is everybody going to be